good evening, and how are you? Welcome to our second of the Finding Your Passions and Monetizing Your Passions, series of workshops that we've been doing this April. So I want to welcome you. If this is your first time also attending our Women Self-Care and Success workshops. If this is your first time or you are, purchasing this as a replay, I want to invite you to come and be with us live, because then what I do is I present these live, where the first session is I record as I'm presenting it for probably like an hour or so, and then I shut down the recordings. Then we start talking about what we just heard in the PowerPoint. So right now, I want to invite you to take out your notebook, your pen, and just start writing what you're hearing, what resonates with you. Please write as many questions as you want me to discuss and answer for you. You can write those in the chat room, which will be easier for me to just track them. Or when we shut down the recording, you talk to me and you ask me the questions. And at that time, because of confidentiality, I like to not have the recordings going. You can come up on video, or you can come up on audio, or you can just still type in your chat, because at that time it'll be just open for us to discuss what you heard, as well as just see how you relate to the information. If you have any questions, please email me at drstem14@gmail.com as well. This workshop, just like any other workshops, every workshop that we have has a workbook. So I hope that after this, you will take some time, sit in the sun. Now we'll just say sit in the sun, because whether you're in Boston, Massachusetts, where my siblings and my mom are, or you're here in Florida, it's sunny, it's summertime. So, take your workbook and then answer those questions after this training. You will find, the questions very relatable, but that's going to move you into the next phase of turning your passion into profit. And that's our topic today. Turning your passion into profit, or turning your idea to revenue. My name is Dr. Stem. I just remembered that there are some people that probably have never been in a workshop with me or anything. So real quick, I go by Dr. Stem. The full name is Stempile Mahlatini. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and I'm so excited because I haven't lost my accent. Because people say, where's the accent from? It's from Zimbabwe, but I've been in the United States over 30 years now. I'm in private practice. I'm a private practice mental health professional. I'm a licensed psychotherapist for over 25 years. So I provide counseling, and I'm also a life, career, and business coach. And now, so excited. Well, I'm getting into my retirement years right now, that I'm working through. But I want to do more workshops and more speaking engagements, because I'm a motivational speaker as well. So I want to coach people self-love, self-care, as well as self-confidence. Those are the things that I thrive in when I work with a woman and see her blossom and just come out and be the person that she was created to be, and excited about her life. I'm very excited about doing that. So that's what I now, am doing more of, coaching as well as these workshops. All right, let's get into it. Get your notebook ready, because this is going to be fun and informative. So what I'll try to do today is, many of them I alternate. Some of them I'll keep my video on, and some of them I'll turn my video off. And I do that because then I want people to be able to focus right on the slide that we're talking about. So what I'll do is, I'll turn my video off, and then right before we end, you'll see me again in the right hand corner. But I just want you to be focusing more on the information, absorb it, that we're talking about. Write again the questions, whether in the chat room or in your notebook. And then once I finish presenting the information that I have for you, we are going to be discussing and going over what came up for you, what questions that you might have. So I cannot wait. So I decided we're going to start with a quick review of our workshop that we did last week. We talked about finding your passion. So the first thing that I want you to remember is to allow yourself to explore different things that you have enjoyed throughout your life, that you wished for throughout your life, so that you can move in the direction of the work that makes you come alive. So remember this, when pursuing or doing what you love for a living, you may find it, first that it's an option of doing something that you like doing that might lead you to something that can pay you. So sometimes you might have to do it and it's not paying, it's okay. Because what I want you to do when you're finding your passion is to find that very thing that excites you, that you can wake up in the, say, I could be told to start a workshop or to speak to people or to coach someone like on the whim, and I wouldn't have to prepare for anything because I've loved doing this for years and years and years, and it comes quick for me now because it's something that I love doing. So here are a few questions that we discussed last week on finding your passion. What do you often find yourself searching for on Google and researching for hours? Does a certain topic turn you on just thinking about it? See, when you talk about empowerment, and I'm talking about men, women, children, adolescents, teenagers, when you talk about empowerment, motivation, confidence, self-esteem, you're talking my language. I'm going to give you all eyes and all ears because that's something that I'm passionate about, and that I think that all of us deserve to be the best version of ourselves and enjoy this one life that we have. What do you have an addiction to learning more about? What do you find yourself talking about for hours to the point of losing track of time? When you enter a bookstore, which section do you naturally gravitate to? You see me in the personal development section anytime, any day. You see me in the biography section where people are really talking about their lives and writing about their lives any day, anytime when I enter a bookstore. All right. On your computer or in your notebook or journal, I also want you to answer the following questions. What would I do even if I didn't get paid to do it? What gifts do I have that I would like to make available to the world? When is it a time in my life that I have felt the most creative or the most productive? What comes incredibly easy to me? What would I do if I got paid to exist? And what lessons do I teach others by virtue of who I am? Answer these questions when you get a moment. So for now, I'm going to give you this replay, as or if you get the replay, so that means you can play it over and over again until you get every slide and all the information that I have. So remember, you may have a passion for doing something that doesn't exist yet. Look for opportunities where you can fill a gap. You've seen people filling in gaps in computers, and now we have the AI system. People wanted more information on time management. In fashion, they're always looking for new designs and new ways of, clothing and materials, mixing materials together. And, if you're a fashionista, that would just arouse you. I have another sister who does hair, and anything hair is her. Anything hair, fashion, makeup, that's her. Food, dance, maybe it's parenting, singing, gardening. I mean, many areas that you can create and fit in your passion so that you can fill in the gap of what people don't, know how to do or don't know what to do. And then once you figure out what it is that your passions or passion is, make sure you test your passion, test it, figure out and test it. So let's say you're on Facebook and you can just say, I have this idea of making butternut cookies and shipping them around the world. I'm wondering, because I have a special recipe, I'm wondering how many of you might be interested in testing the butternut cookies that I have. And just put a question, toss it out there in your group on Facebook or your friends in Facebook, and just see who comes up and what they say, right? Or maybe you might not have to cook the butternut cookies. You might have to write the recipe for butternut cookies, and you say, I have recipes for a special recipe for butternut cookies. How many of you might be interested in learning how I make my butternut cookies, that I can show you how to make those butternut cookies and also give you my recipe? You see, you're not going to give it for free. That's something that you love doing, but that's something that now you're going to create a program that you can now teach them how to make these butternut cookies. Or maybe you can just sell the, recipe book, or just that one recipe and sell it for $20, and put it on the side and say, hey, $20. I bet you, if you have 10 people that buy it at that $20 and you get extra $200 a month, you know how much that is? To just get $200 because you wrote one-time recipe of what you love doing and what you love cooking, and somebody bought it, right? So another way of realizing that there's room for all of us is, if you have an idea, let's say like the butternut cookies that I just gave, right? Don't worry about who else is making butternut cookies or who else has a recipe like that. Yours is yours. We've never seen yours. We don't know, that extra pinch of salt that you were told by your grandmother to put in, and now it tastes different than everybody else because of an extra pinch of salt. So don't be afraid to come up and just say, this is what I love and this is what I'm going to do, because I can guarantee you, people in your area, right in that circle where you live right there, they have no idea of what and they live right next door to you, and they live right next door to the other person. So there are always customers and always people, to buy your product. Compile a few questions and just send them to someone doing what you want to do, so that, if there's anybody else that is selling the same butternut cookies and that is doing well, just put together a few questions, 3-4 questions, and say, email them or send them to them. Maybe you can simply say, I wanted to ask you if you can help you, because I'm thinking of getting into business, but I was wondering if you could help me with just answering these few questions. Or I'm very interested in what you do, and I'm so excited for you because I see how successful you are. I was wondering if you could help me answer the 4 questions as I also think of my path and what I want to do. Because believe it or not, there's some people that are still shallow, where if you email them and say, well, I wanted to start also another butternut cookies, they just feel competition all of a sudden, like, oh my God, that person is coming to compete with me. No, they want to follow their path and they want to know what they want to know. So 3 questions, of answer those 3 questions is really not too much, for them that you might do. But remember now, many of the people, let's say if you ask me 3 questions about that, I will answer the 3 questions, but then you have to remember that I am a coach. So if I answered 1,000 questions for you, or continuously you write me answer questions, I'm doing exactly the work that I'm supposed to be doing. So I can't do that because I'm a coach. More questions that you ask me, we're going to have to make, a session, an appointment, so that you pay for the services and I exchange it, with all the information that you need. And that's how also we teach each other to do business and respect each other to do business. Whatever your business is, I also will, respect that. When you're finding your passion, Remember now, you're looking for what inspires you, what excites you, what engages you, what scares you and holds you back, but then still you want to do it. You also looking for what do you do well naturally? What do you need to improve? What do you pretend to like but really don't like, right? What lies are you living, for yourself and thinking, well, I'm excited about doing this, but then that's not really working, right? Okay. Last week we also talked about, starting to get paid, but I said I would get into it this week because that's what we're going to be, talking about. But I emphasize start it as a side hustle. Keep your day job to pay the bills. Well, unless if you have enough saved money, because I'm telling you, the bill collectors will continue to want their money. You will need to continue to pay for the residence or place where you live. You will need to continue to need food. So without a job and something that gives you a paycheck that can sustain you, it's really difficult. And, I went into a phase at some point in my life where I lost an apartment where I was living. So I had to find a homeless, place to stay because now I didn't have a job. At that time, I had transitioned from one state to another. So I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. And it was tough. It was hard. And now I see why they say, you know what, if you're going to follow your passion, start it as a side hustle because you don't want to fall right down, face down and everything. And then you don't have anywhere to start. But the good thing is because I am licensed and I am a professional who's been in my profession for years, right? I didn't have to stay in that space for long because then I found myself getting a job, which I had to return, finding a job and looking for a job, got a job, which was absolutely a blessing of a job because I became the first social worker of the library systems here in Orlando, Florida. They had never had a social worker, and somebody had a brilliant idea to say, let's have a social worker. And guess what? The social worker would work with the homeless. And I was, at that time when I found the job, homeless. So it was interesting that I became homeless in order for me to come in and assist the homeless, finding homes, finding jobs, counseling them on grief and different things that they were going through. So I found myself humbled that I understood where they were because now I was also in their same space. But because of this job, I was able to find another place and move out, of that space that I was in at that time. So determine how much time you have. How much time are you going to commit to your passion? Because if you're going to monetize or to move from passion to profit, you're going to need to make time for it. There are many people that have ideas and say, I have an idea, and I bet you that idea could pay me. Well, great. It's great that you have an idea, but now you've got to move from idea to revenue. Many have a passion. It's now time to move that passion to profit because that is where everything that you've ever desired, prayed for lies into. It lies into you doing what you're passionate about, what it is that you are happy to just do, and then it will pay you for it. So when you decide how much time, let's say an hour, what day of the time will you take the hour? Or maybe are you going to do half an hour in the morning and half an hour at night? So here's the thing. It's not about the time being half an hour, 2 hours. It's about the consistency of you keeping up with that time, the days that you put in and saying, you know what? 6 o'clock in the morning from 6 to 7, I'll sit on my computer or I'll take my book and sit outside and write. Or I will write emails or I will write letters and, make the phone call for the day that I need to check prices of wholesale prices in Japan or something. I don't know what your passion is, but the consistency is what's gonna, count. Write yourself, what times, what days that you will commit to your passion, right? So schedule the time in your planner, schedule it with family, let them know that this time I will not be available to do anything, outside of me working on the project that I'm working in, right? If you have a partner or if you're married, please talk to your partner and ask if they could step in and help you out so that you guys can help each other out. That way you can take the time without guilt. So it's gonna warrant you to let go of any control that you might have, because if you're a parent and you have children, sometimes it's like, well, you know what, I know he's not going to be able to do this, the father, because I'm the one that always does this. Well, you know what, this is going to help the whole family. So I want to, encourage you to let go and allow him to do it, his way. But in that hour, at least, you're committing to your project and to your passion. So if there are places that you need to call and you've taken the time at night, give you time so that the next day now you take your hour during the day, that way you can make the phone calls. So there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's always a way. That way you can make, your phone calls. So determine how much time you have. Many of the places that we want to inquire information from, they do have emails. So certainly use emails, email them, ask them a question as well. Pick something that interests you. So I have attached with this course another listing of 105 ways to start your own business. And there are different businesses, business titles, business ideas in there that I have in this little guide that you have also with your course, So pick something that interests you. Try it out. Give it at least 3 months, sometimes 3 to 6 months. If it's not something that you thought it would turn out to be, and you really don't think that this is the thing for you, then certainly change. Pick another one. There's 105. But again, consistency and doing that very thing over and over, whether you're down, up, and around, is going to be key. So sometimes some people have these many choices and think, well, you know what, I'll try it for 30 days, I'll try it for 30 minutes, and then I'll quit. And I'll try another one for 30 days, and then I'll quit. Well, at that point, it's not about the ideas anymore. And now it's about you. So if I was working with you, we would start to talk about the things that get you to block every idea constantly, the way that you'll be blocking the ideas. And it could be something very little that we can talk about. You change that, and then the rest is history. Your business, now will start to thrive. But pick something that you're passionate about. And again, give it time to just see it blossom. Decide the amount of money you want to earn. How much do you want to earn monthly, yearly? Decide, whether you want to get a one-time payment from your product that you want to sell, if you're thinking of selling something, or you want to have a membership package. Is it going to be a short-term plan, long-term plan? Again, I just use these terms, but if you're working with me one-on-one and I'm your coach, we will be able to guide you through each step of just determining, what first step, how much you want to earn monthly, yearly, and then, whether you want to make sure that it's a one-time membership package or short-term or long-term plan. And then once you do that, now you create a solid business plan for your side hustle. And a lot of people don't, put together a business plan, but it's almost like a map that can help you at least know where you are and know where you're going. So some of the resources that I have used myself, and also those people that have worked with me, in every United States city, there's a small business development center in the city. See if you can find that, the Small Business Development Center. They always have all these resources that can help you with your business. They have people that can help you write the business plan. They have information on banks that you can, get loans from. I mean, it's a business support center that they have in the United States. You might want to take a course. Many of the courses have resources and information on how to start a business. On Udemy, www.udemy.com, they have their courses. Even Coursera, they have some free courses, and they also have some as low as even $10 courses. But the information that you get there, boy, it's going to really, really help. Some of the resources that I have used, that I continue to use, are these ones here. Fiverr.com, they have people there that can write a business plan for you. LinkedIn has people, and as well as Upwork.com. So take advantage and see if you can get help with writing your business plan. Identify your target audience and avatar. Pretty much, who is your customer? Who do you want to sell to? And then decide on what products and services you want to offer. Again, this book will help you determine that. Because then if you want to start a dog walking business, that's going to be easy, because then your services is dog walking, right? And then your customer is everybody who has a dog and everybody who wants a break and wants to take a vacation or a day shopping, or they just need some peace and quiet in the house without their baby dogs, because those are their babies, without their dog, and you can give them relief or respite with their dogs. So decide what product and services you offer and use this guide as your guide. And then I want to recommend that you research your competition when you're moving from passion to profit or your idea to revenue, because your competition will help you prevent many pitfalls. Your competition will help you differentiate, between your products that you have now and that ideal one that is in your head, whether it's practical for you to even wait until it's perfected, or maybe it's perfect enough right now, or how to get it to be even more perfect, right? Your competition will help you jump in and try it out. Because then my mindset is, if I'm looking at my competition, I'm like, you started somewhere. You started where you had self-doubt. You started where you were not making that much. You started where people were not understanding, or people were not buying into your product. You started somewhere, but now you made it. So I am inspired. I am encouraged. I am empowered with those that have done the very thing I'm doing, and they're successful at it, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, from the day that I started doing this online work, virtual work, that I was excited, because I knew that with each day, I'm becoming better and better. With each day, people are starting to see my heart and see what it is that I'm trying to do, and also the service that I'm providing, where I'm doing self-care and success. And that information on taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically. And then, we also talk about success, how to be successful in life, many topics under that, how to be successful in your career, many topics after that, as well as in business. I do those workshops, different workshops. So another thing with the workshops, the self-care success workshops, if you are a person that is hearing me today or that has attended these workshops, I'm always looking for different facilitators that have different topics, because all those topics that I mentioned, I'm not an expert in all of them, neither do I want to be an expert. I put all those categories because I want to have an opportunity for people that are experts in their field to come in and do an hour, 2-hour workshop, because that is going to be such a blessing and also benefit for those that are members of the Empowerment Academy. We have what we call a My Best Life tribe. So for our tribe, I'm always looking for people to come in and give us more information. That way they are exposed to a lot of information on the outside. Turning your passion into profit requires thinking differently. And there's one solution: positive thinking. Why positive thinking? Because it helps you have more energy. It helps you become more resilient. It helps you bounce back better. It also improves your decision-making skills, but most of all, it will help you solve problems quicker and easier and move forward easier. Because without positive thinking, you might be stuck for years with that brilliant idea that you have and not moving the needle, because you are thinking negatively, and also the assumption are negative assumptions. So then it becomes difficult for you to even start anything. So one of the things that I do is I'm almost, calling myself a jumper cable, right? Well, I do call myself a jumper cable, that I am the one that people will talk to, and we will go through and dissect your ideas, we'll dissect your fears, and we'll also dissect in things that you could change that can help you, go towards victory or even success in whatever you're trying to do, whether it's your life, your career, or your business, right? Professional growth or personal growth. So that's what my work does, because by the end, you're going to, start having a positive outlook. And I think the reason why people don't buy into positive thinking that much is because sometimes it's just, said on the surface, and people are like, I've got a real life going on and I've got problems that are going on. I just can't think positively. And that's understandable. And I think the benefit of, doing one-on-one with me is because I'm a mental health professional and I'm also a certified life, career, and business coach. So with that combination, I'm able to serve the whole person. I'm able to have a holistic approach to, what you need, as far as mental health, talking about that, as well as your success tips. That way now we can change the negative thinking into positive thinking when we deal with the issues that have caused the negative thinking. So another gentle reminder is go easy on yourself when you decide to go after your passions or turning your idea into reality. Get support, because alone it can be challenging. So get support. And this is the reason why I created My Best Life Tribe, because I knew that a lot of people have got the talent, the gift, and a lot of women have had the courage to start their own businesses, to have a side gig that they're doing, but because they don't have enough support or they just feel alone, it's easy to just throw in the towel and give up, right? So I decided to put together My Best Life Tribe so that those women can never felt alone, and no woman can feel like, you know what, I wish somebody could listen to me. I wish somebody else, could tell me whether I'm doing this right or wrong. You will have a family, not only our members, but you also have us, the coaches and staff that will be available to you. Practice gratitude. Every time that we're thankful about what's around us and what we have, for some reason, the universe, God, just opens up the doors and gives you even more. Take care of what hurts you, what burdens you, because then that takes away positivity. If there's any pain, if there's any unforgiveness in you, it takes away positivity. So take care of that. Be around people who help you become more positive, and make a list of things that you love about yourself. Believe in you, trust yourself, and love yourself more. You want to create the image of who you want to be, what you want to achieve in your life, and create that image. And remember what that's called? Vision boards. All right, I could talk forever. Let me just check in with you. Is this making sense? At least I started off by just going through finding your passion, then I weaved right into it on working through from shifting from passion to profit, or idea to revenue. I see some yeses. I see some yeses. Awesome. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. In the 2 minutes, I want you to write a list of the things that you love about yourself. And start now. Awesome. You can continue with that list. Once we finish here, you can continue with that list. So some of those resources that we have, again, I gave you the 105 business ideas that you're going to have. And I also have a workbook that I included in this course. And in that workbook, I want you again to go through the workbook and see which ideas from passion to profits that you can utilize. Let me tell you a story. In fact, I've got quite, a few stories about people that have, worked with this. Well, I'll start with mine. I started off, I came here in the 80s, from Zimbabwe. And I was a person that always would talk too much, right? My parents said, "You talk too much." I'm the firstborn of 7. And when I came in the 80s, computer science was really big. A lot of people were doing computer science. So I came in and applied in Lowell, Massachusetts to do computer science, because then I came so that I can do my computer science, take myself back to Zimbabwe and start working for someone that would, pay me for computer science. But as I was in that computer science, class, there was one teacher that said to me, "I enjoy your papers that you've been writing in my sociology class. I was wondering what degree that you're taking." And I said, "Computer science." And the guy says, "No, I don't think, I think you should look more into these sociology courses that you're taking, because then I see you doing more work in social work or sociology, work." So I didn't take him, at that point. I was like, well, I don't understand, why I wouldn't want to get paid with the computer science and go into social work. But as I was going to school, I was also working in a nursing home, and in the nursing home was an elderly lady that also asked me the same question: "What are you doing in school?" Because I told her I was doing school part-time, and I said, "Oh, I'm doing computer science." And she says, "What? No." So when you hear two people telling you, no, that's not what you're supposed to do, I thank God that I was able to listen, because then she says, "I think you should be a social worker." You want to read about that story? I wrote it in my book. It's time to shift from fear to faith. I wrote the whole full story in there. But at that point, I knew then that talking to people, helping people relax, helping people deal with life's challenges, problems, was my work for life. I enjoyed supporting people. I enjoyed talking to people. So I went into School of Social Work and then did my master's, and eventually did my doctorate degree, where I also specialized in organizational leadership, because I wanted to work with employees in the workplace. So you might have seen me post things where I do corporate trainings as well, because then I'm talking to you and I in the workplace when I go into the workplace. I also realized that people don't have a lot of, money that they can work with me one-on-one. So why not go in the company and talk to everyone, during a workshop? And in that workshop, people will get all that information that they would have gotten, from me one-on-one, but it's at the expense of a company. So I found a way to monetize my passion, which is talking to people and helping people excel. Then I worked, with another lady, and I'll just call her Mary because of confidentiality, that came to me, and she said, one of the things that I've always loved doing was taking care of, my siblings. And, she's the oldest. And she says, "I have also taken care of grandchildren now, and I'm going into retirement. I don't know what to do with myself." I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Have you ever thought about maybe taking, having a daycare, or, and in-home preschool that you can just teach 5, 10 children to," she's a retired teacher, by the way. And she said, "What? I never thought about it, but I don't want to work for anyone again." I said, "No, we actually can go through this way. You can get licensed and certified to have your own daycare in your own home, and you can have, how many ever children, because the certifications are, go in order of how many children that you want to take care of in your home." And just before I did this workshop, it was interesting, because then I was thinking, what stories can I share? And I got an email and she says, remember you spoke to me 10 years ago, you were at a conference and then I, enrolled to talk to you one-on-one and we were talking about a daycare. And of course, I don't forget that one because then, well, many of them I don't forget because then it's so, because the minute I mentioned that to her, she was on a roll. She says, I started off the daycare. I take care of kids in my own home and I am retired, but I am getting paid more money than I ever got paid when I was working. And it's so interesting because I never thought of it in that way. So I'm telling you today that whatever your passion is, you can get paid for doing that passion that you have. People are ordering things, from China and still selling them, online, and they sell them in person. People are, growing things, tomatoes, potatoes, corn in their own backyards, or they buy little land around them and they start, growing those crops and then they sell them. So there's so much that you can do to monetize your passion. Next week, I'm going to be talking about the fear that prevents people from even starting these businesses or from moving their idea to passion. Next week, I'm going to be talking about that. So I hope that you're getting your questions ready because we are going to be going into talking more about discussing these things that we're talking about. What business idea do you have? This is now the time that you can talk to me and ask me what your business idea is. Another resource that I want you to also get from Amazon is a book that I wrote probably 15 years ago. Profits are better than wages. Because many a time we get stuck in a job that we're getting a wage, a paycheck, and because it's paying the bills and it's paying, it's helping me with my benefits. And then we get stuck in our mindset, with that. So it's going to be, helpful to you to understand the importance of owning your side hustle or even your own business full blown and working for someone else. 2012, this is 2024 now, so it's been a minute, but it's really one of those books that I still up to today, really enjoy reading myself as well, or even when I share it with other people. So here's the question. Are you ready to step into this whole 2024? Because we are just like now in April, right? Fearlessly with confidence. If your answer is yes, I want you to apply to work with me because I am so excited to help you move from where you are to where you want to go. So I do offer a 30-minute discovery session. If you go on my website, you'll be able to see that link for you to book your discovery session with me. So next session is going to be, so today we're talking about, from idea to revenue and passion to profit. But the next one, we are going to be talking about the fears that prevent you from moving from idea to revenue. That's the next one that we'll be talking about next week. So with that said, let me go ahead and stop the recording and let's talk about